It's week number 13 if I'm counting correctly, which is wild to think about. So good morning, Texas and everyone beyond Texas. We've got a couple events coming up. So think about if you've got any gratitude, any shout outs. I'm going to give you a couple announcements. Um, who is going to Converted on the Road in San Antonio? That's coming up, I think. Is it tomorrow, Yvette? It is. Okay, just in case you may have forgotten, let me go ahead and pop it into chat. And that is how you get there. And then who is in the Austin area? If you're in the Austin area, we have Converted on the Road with Valencia, and that's awesome. Good to see you, Ray. The second link is Austin, and I'll link it multiple times throughout this call. And so it's exciting. The market is shifting in a lot of our areas, which is good, right? So let's take advantage of it. Let's work smart and hard, right? Any other announcements that I need to go through? Any other shout outs? Anything else that we need to discuss this morning before we get started with Miss Heather? Okay, you guys are good. We're just rolling. Heather, I am going to go ahead and spotlight you. There
Hey, how are
we
you guys?
go. Hi. Good morning. Heather, tell us where you are. What
I am
area
in
are you in?
I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
My brokerage is out of Germantown. I live in like the heart of the city, like our Midtown area.
Nice. Have you always been there, Heather?
No, I moved here 4 years ago. Everybody thought I was crazy. I used to live in Mississippi on 10 acres and I traded it for the heart of the city.
Okay.
Never
I
look
like it.
back. Yeah,
I
never
like
look
it.
back. Love it. Love
So
it.
you're not, born and bred in the area that you are selling in.
Absolutely not.
Relatively kind of new.
Yeah, absolutely. I've only been an agent for less than a year. I used to be in dental, actually.
Okay.
So, no sales related
Why
experience
the
at
change?
all.
Why did you make a change?
I hated my job,
Okay.
hated it, to the point where I would leave work Thursday and dread going to work on Monday. And it
Okay.
would stress me out, and I hated it. And my husband is a custom home builder, and he just was like, "Look, if you don't take the opportunity, you're never gonna know."
How many homes does he build a year? Is it like one or two, or is it 10, 20?
Uh, Last year he built 25.
Do you get to
So.
sell any of them yourself, or does he have clients?
I have worked with some of his clients who need to sell their homes,
Okay.
who have already been under contract, started the building process. So we're starting to work a little bit more together this coming year than we
Good,
have.
good, as you should. Okay, I'm gonna jump in with Heather, guys. And if you're just popping in, Heather started her career last April. Who do we have in the room who started April or later? There's a few of you, which is exciting. Um, there's a lot of us who started way before April, which is very cool. And the reason we're talking to Heather this morning is Heather started in April, did not have sales experience before. You just heard her; she hated her job before this, and that's okay. That's part of life, right? Like, look at you; you get to make a career shift. And really go after your dreams. You sold 10 homes between April and December last year. Do I have that right?
Yes, yes.
And then for this year already, closed and pended 10 again.
Yes, I actually have two active listings as well.
Okay.
I'm already 12, 13, 3 months into the year.
Okay. I like it. I like it. That's a good start. And I think a lot of people on the call want to have that kind of start. So I want
Absolutely.
to shift real quick. You did 150, 155 open houses.
155 opens in 7 months. Yes.
155 open houses in your first year, in the first 7 months of the year. Most agents, right, Heather, won't do that probably in 5 or 10 years. What,
Or in their lifetime, probably.
why did you do it? Let's start us off there.
Because you can't complain about business if you're not willing to go find it. It's mindset. So, if you want handed opportunities, real estate's never going to be for you because you're not going to be, I mean, handed opportunities are great, but how is that sustainable?
Okay. So if you don't have business, you go find it.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that's really hard for agents to understand? Why do they get stuck?
I think they come in the mindset that they think their brokerage or their broker is going to take care of them and hand them business, especially if you're on a team. I feel like people just come in with that mindset. And unfortunately, um, I see people just drop the wayside because that's an unsustainable. If you're not willing to do the hard work, real estate's hard. It's hard. But it's rewarding. And, it's how bad do you want it? So it's like a personal thing. If you're not willing to do the work, then maybe real estate isn't for you because it is very hard work, but it's also very rewarding.
Was there ever a moment while you were doing so many open houses that you questioned, like, would this actually pay off?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are times
Okay.
that, hey, look, I've spent times all by myself 4 days. I'm not going to tell you every open house I did had someone because that's not true. It's consistency. It's showing up when no one shows up.
Okay, so I was going to ask you that, like, sometimes we treat open houses and they're kind of optional. They're kind of like, if I have nothing else going on, maybe I'll do an open house, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like our
Yeah,
busy work.
absolutely.
Um, what
Absolutely.
what do you think their mentality is missing if they're treating it as a back burner thing instead of a real lead generator?
Well, I mean, if your pipeline's not busy and you don't have active pendings or listings, why would you not do opens? I guess that's the main question.
Okay, so like I guess a different question is, what about when you do have some business? Like, because right now, Heather, you're doing great. Like, do you
Yeah.
stop doing everything, or like what does that look like for you?
I did 4 open houses last week, but I'm exhausted. I'm only doing like one this week, only
Okay.
because, I have four pendings right now, and I just can't be everywhere and do everything. And I have two active listings that require my time too. So.
If I went back to last year, for example, when you were doing these as scale, is what I would call it.
Mhm.
Why didn't you just do like launch basically says do one or two a week? Why didn't you just do that?
Well, why would you be happy with the status quo? Just because somebody says do one or two, why would you not prove that you can do more? I guess that's my logic. I mean, my logic is if you tell me to do five, I'm going to bring you 20. If you tell me to bring you 10, I want to do 30. Because the point is, I'm never going to be happy with the status quo, and anybody can be the status quo. It's who cannot be status quo.
Okay, I'm okay with
Like
that.
statistics, like, I'm not going to be the statistic person. Like, I'm going to overachieve it because why not if you can? And then, two, I mean, what do you have to prove if you can't do it? I mean,
Um,
people will be like, you're either crazy or you're not, or you're both.
um, did you only do open houses like on the weekends, or what did that look like for you?
Oh, no, no, no. I'm talking about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Only day I didn't really do them would be like Mondays. Nobody wants to go to an open house on Monday. Nobody wants to be alive on a Monday. So Mondays were not, I never was like, hey, raise my hand on a Monday. But every other day of the week, yeah. Yeah. 2 to 4 especially was good for me because, you've got moms who are picking up littles from school or, whatnot. And if people are actively looking, you're busiest. I think my best open houses were during the week, as far as like people who converted
I
were
hear that.
during the week. Weekends are busy, but they're not my converters really. Anybody can come to a weekend open house, but the weekday open house are where the conversion comes.
Interesting. Talk to me about your strategy with signs. Like, are you putting out like 2 to 3 signs, 5 signs, 20 signs? Like, what?
At least 20 every time I go. My broker laughs. I probably spend so much money in signs. I probably should put a little bit aside in a business. Um, I do it because the more signs you put out, the more people think there's other open houses. So they're all excited because they're like, oh, 3 open houses. And it's just me. It's just me. But it always works. So I hate picking them up and putting them back out, but it does work. Does work.
How long does it take you to put out 20 signs? Like, just for
Oh
class?
gosh, at least 30 plus minutes. But I always go early and I always come prepared. I take my little Uggs and so I can run real fast in the Uggs and then I've switched to my heels once I get to the house. But yeah, I think that it tricks people. They get all excited. They're like multiple open houses in this area and it's really not. It's just one. One loner.
Got it. It's just you. It's just you.
Just me.
Okay. So then they walk into your open house. What are you doing in the first like 60 seconds that you feel maybe everyone else isn't doing?
Oh, I wouldn't say I do anything different than what everybody else does. I
Okay.
always take an MLS sheet with me in my hand because I do so many open houses. I cannot memorize what this house has versus the other house most of the time, unless it's my listing. But if I'm doing other people's listings, I always have an MLS sheet that has the breakdown of the square footage and, school district. And I always keep a what I call an extra sheet. So that's like the upgrades or whatever to be a quick brief sheet because as many open houses as I have done and do, your houses can get mixed up. So quick reference sheet. I also walk around with a clipboard and meet the people at the door and make them automatically sign in
What do
because
you say? Like, what does that sound like?
I'm like, hey, I'm so glad you're here. My name's Heather. Nice to meet you. Could I get you to sign in just real quick before we tour this home? Just as a legality reason for our home, our sellers, just so they know who's in the home today. And then the people who won't sign in when you say that will always sign in because they realize it can be a legality and they're going to sign in. And if you give somebody an opportunity to sign in halfway through the house, they're not going to sign in.
Hmm.
So meeting them at the door changes things because not only do you seem like you're waiting for them, but you also combat that I don't want to sign in kind of thing.
Um, do you sell, are you trying to sell the house?
No, I never try to sell the house. The thing about it is I build relationships and I sell houses secondly. You want to buy that house? Amazing. I'll write you the offer. But I'm there to get to know people and learn what they're looking for. And 9 times out of 10, the house that they're going to is not for them. It's just where they ended up. I have had a few that love the house 3 days later, call me and like, hey, I met you at this open house. Will you write this offer? But the reality is I don't overly push people. I'm not there to sell the house. I'm there to build the relationship and then sell a house.
How does it sound like to build the relationship? Like, what does that even mean in an open house? Like, what are you doing? What are you saying?
It's not what you say, I guess, as much as how you say it. It's figuring out how many kids they have, why they're moving, or if they're from here. It's getting to know them because people love to talk about themselves.
So
So
if
if
I
you
came into your open house and I was like, I had just signed in, what happens next? Like, what do you do?
I just get to know them. I walk around the home and get to know them as they're touring the home. And it's the little things like finding a conversation while you're looking at the bathroom, or so you're getting details about the house, but then you're finding out more and more, uh,
Are you
not in an
asking
honest
like what their
about,
kids are doing, like for fun, or
yeah,
like,
yeah, are
or
their
are you
kids in
like saying like,
uniform?
do you need 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms? Like, what's your style?
Well, you're asking why they need it more so than what they need. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
you're asking, well, okay, so if you need 3 bedrooms, do you have 3 children, or do you have this, or do you have people who come and visit? And then that opens the door for them to talk about their life, which everybody wants to do. And if you just kind of sit back and let them take over the appointment, they feel like you care because you do, because you asked.
So
And so
you're not throwing up the stats of the house to them.
no. No,
Okay.
never, never. Um, I I don't want to be a glorified tour guide. I'm not there to tour the house. I'm there to build a relationship to where people trust me so that they know that I have their best interest in mind if they become my client. I'm not going to just sell you the first available house. I want the house to work for you. I don't want to be a used car salesman of homes. So I guess I just approach it a little differently.
How do you feel like they ever feel interrogated?
No, no. I think that 9 times out of 10, you may get the one person that doesn't like to talk about themselves, but everybody loves to talk about themselves. So you're giving them an opportunity to discuss who they are, and people love that. They want you to ask,
Okay, so
you know.
if I walk into, say I'm walking in the kitchen, it's me and my husband, like what are things you might say to me? Because most agents would say, okay, so yeah, this is, really, they just redid the kitchen, Heather, and they spent about $50,000 in this kitchen. It looks really good. All the appliances are new. That's what most agents are saying when the client walks in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
What do you say?
Absolutely. Well, I'm trying to find out if they're a first-time home buyer, if they've lived in the area. Do you need somewhere, since you're looking in this area, is this area close to your commute? Are you looking to move because you need to be closer to something? I'm finding out more about them and then giving them the stat. Like I let them answer the question and then, I'm like, oh, and hey, the kitchen has been redone. You just make it flow. I don't really know how to describe it, but you you don't need to constantly tell them the stats about the house because it's on the sheet. Anybody can read. So it's like, tell them about the house, but ask them about them. Ask them their motivation for moving because you find out a lot more with someone if you're going to ask, why are they moving? You know, um, because I think a lot of the agents don't dive into why are people looking at houses? You know, they're just assuming, hey, if you're at an open house, you're looking. Well, we all know that, but why are they looking? Like,
So
why do they need to look?
are you reading people before they walk in or like what's your
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. And a lot of times I sit at the window before they walk in, if they're getting kids out, I'm counting the kids, I'm seeing what they're needing. I'm thinking, they're probably looking for the school district or, just different things like that. Always trying to be one step ahead before they even walk in the door.
Okay, so your awareness level is very high.
Yes, yes. Like I'm scouting out, okay, well, she looks like a soccer mom because she's driving this or that. And it can be wrong. She might not be. But the reality is before somebody walks in, you already kind of can read the situation and who they are. And you just you kind of let that guide your conversation.
Um, where does your confidence come from?
I don't know. I don't know. I am one of seven kids, and you think I'd be shy as a doornail, because I am a middle child and I am very not. I don't know. I just look at I love to make connections with people. And I think that's what a lot of agents are missing out on is the connection. When somebody trusts you and knows you or thinks they know you, they're gonna trust your opinion. Like 9 times out of 10, I can tell the person like, I know this is your house before we even get there. And then they're like, how did you know? Because I know I've asked enough questions to know what they're looking for and to know what it is, I guess. And
So when they're at the open house with you, let's say, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes, I don't know how long they're there for. And you've asked all these questions. Is this so that you can follow up with them later? Like, do you use this
yes,
information?
yes, because when I follow up, I'm not following up about the house. I'm asking about little Bobby's test or how did the soccer game go? Or, the Tigers are playing in town this week. Are y'all going to the game? Hope to see you there. I'm not checking in about homes. I set you up on a listing alert, and if you've got questions, you're going to let me know, and then I'm going to keep following up with you. But my follow up is not about the home. My follow up is your life.
Okay. You had a client, I think recently go under contract after like, I don't know, 100 days, 3, 4 months of follow-up. What does a follow-up look like in your world?
Well, she was a teacher and they love the area that I live in town. And every time we had something like an event, I would text her and be like, hey girl, we're having this event, blah, 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 blah. The husband and I are going, love to see you there. If you go, try to find me or, just
But
that kind
this
of thing.
isn't somebody you know.
Does it matter?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying the obvious that
No, no, no,
everybody's
because I
moving.
feel, but see, that's the thing. I don't meet a stranger. That's the thing. Like, I don't treat them like strangers. I treat them like I've known them all my life. I build a trust with them and a rapport with them. I have clients that I closed last year who still call me every week, about little things. I get invited to all kinds of family functions of people I'm not even related to, but
You're
it's
not in their
because
family.
I built that level of trust. I built like the relationship, I guess, before I sold the deal.
How you're busy. How do you even stay consistent?
Um, it's hard. It's really
Okay.
hard. So, time, I also travel to sell real estate. So like, I sold a house 7 hours away from me, like last month. And so I'll make phone calls in the car. I'll get into the Brivity app, and if I've got unqualifieds and I can't do it, I just like hit the dialer. I'm just like, hey, this is Heather. And so that's really it's when you get busy, it's just finding the time. You craft things. You just cut out time. Like the other day, I was calling people from I think 6:30 to 7:30, and I had 23 people pick up out of like I think it was like 75 calls. That was great. That was great. And I had a lot of connections. And then out of that, like two or three people had agreed to see a house. But it's working when other people aren't. It's getting your schedule because like even though you're busy, you can still crack. That was an hour of my time. It's just using your time creatively, I guess, once you're busy.
What do you say in that hour? Like what's your pitch? What was your pitch, or like what does that check-in sound like, or give us an
I'm
example?
just like, hey, we talked last week or last month, and I'm just following up to see, I sent you some homes. Are you still interested? Is there anything that's, popped on the market? A lot of times, what I'll do if there's a client that I know who's actively looking and they're hard to get, like, hard to want to show houses to, every time a new listing in their parameter pops up, I'll text it to them. Just
Hmm.
one little text with that house and be like, hey, saw this today, thought of you. Let me know if you have any questions. Short and sweet. I'm not bugging them. I'm sending them one listing and I'm like, dropping the shortest note you could. Hey, thought of you. Let me know if you have any questions. You're not selling anything. You're being informative.
What percentage of the time are you say texting versus calling? Like
I
is it
text
50/50?
more. I
Okay.
text more. It's more convenient. People respond better than that. Now you've got to know who your clients are. If you're working with retired people, call. Don't
Mhm.
text. But if you're working with anybody under the age of, 50, then text. You're gonna have a lot better of a resource that way typically.
Do you consider yourself salesy?
No, no, not at all. And I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference because I'm not overly trying to sell it. I've walked in houses before and been like, I don't think this is the one, because I wouldn't want my clients to, I tell people I'm not going to let you live in a house I wouldn't live in. Tastes are different. Like people are going to have different tastes, but there's obviously you can tell if something's wrong with the home or the floors are really wonky or they're a first time home buyer and you realistically know it's going to take $100,000 to fix this home I don't know. I don't feel like I try to sell the home. I'm just trying to build the relationship. And that's how I get the referrals because they send all their friends. They send um
Do you
they send
ask for
people.
referrals?
Absolutely not. I've never have.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
so you don't
No.
ask. Okay.
No, they'll text me and be like, "Hey, you sold us this house, blah blah blah," and and they're like, "Our friend just moved to the area. Can we give her your information or this or that?" And a lot of times, like I said, I probably talked to them in the last month, so it's not that weird, awkward conversation of, "Hey, do you remember me?" Because we talk
Okay, so
all the
you're
time.
you're consistently in their life though.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't ever fall off the apple bush. I'm like always like, hey. Sometimes I just drop off little things on their porches around the holidays, or seasonal stuff. And it doesn't have to be anything that's a lot of money. It's just thoughtful stuff. Like, I live in an area where we have like a lot of local places, and so I'll pick up like hand soaps or just different things that are locally crafted, stick it on their porch, little note, done.
Thinking back, is there something that you feel like you would have done better or differently, like maybe in your first 10 or 20 open houses? Because you were newer, you didn't know what you didn't know.
Oh yeah, I think I just tried too hard back then.
Okay,
I
what
think
does
I,
that look like?
I think I was trying too hard to sell every home that I was hosting, and then I finally realized it's not about the home that I'm hosting. It's not. I mean, that's just the stepping stone. The stepping stone is the home that I hosted that I met the client at. It's it's getting them to their destination, the next step. Because more than likely that's not going to be the home for them.
What's more important to you? Confidence, scripts, repetition?
Confidence, because the script can only get you so far. If you have to be able to build that relationship and that trust rapport with people. And if you're only practicing a script, that's going to be really hard for somebody to trust you if you don't want to, if you, it's kind of like if you don't know what to say when the camera quits rolling, what are you going to say? Like you have to, scripts are good because they do keep people, on point or on target, but at some point you're gonna have to just be who you are.
Okay.
Get off the script.
The first like 7, 8 months in the business, you closed 10. Now it's like, okay, we're 3 months in and you've got 10
Yeah.
already in the hopper, closed or
Mhm.
pended. What changed? Like, why are they stacking now? What's happening?
I don't know. I think that maybe I just trust the process more. I don't look at every deal as if it falls through, I'm devastated. I'm like, oh, there'll be someone else. I think I just take it a little bit more stride now. And I don't try so hard. I just love what I do and I don't have to overly compensate because it is apparent that I like what I do.
If an agent is struggling right now, maybe they're not getting business, what would you tell them to start doing?
Go to open houses because even if you don't want to do it, it gets your confidence level of talking to people up higher. Um, because the more conversations you have, the more confident in the conversation you're having. So I would say that. I mean, my first listing as a brand new agent was 679,900. Do you know how I
And
got
that's
that? It was
that's
an open
high for
house. It was
that
an
is
open
high. Okay.
it was an open house. So open houses are an
Who
untapped
who was it?
potential.
Was it like a neighbor? Was it somebody walking in and they wanted to upgrade to something else? What?
Um, no, she was in the part of town that she wanted to be in. But they wanted a pool and they had lots of kids and they had only lived in their home for like a year and a half. But they had gotten pool quotes and were like, we don't want to spend that type of money. And so I met her in an open house and long story short, she was a client. The one who had sold her the house was an agent who had had 35 plus years of experience. Okay, to the point where she's in the multi million dollar clubs. Okay, like she probably asked for 6% just on her own before she takes a listing, and she didn't call her. And let me tell you why she didn't call her. She said, because I don't think she'll have the time for me that you're taking. So that's
Fair.
how I won her business. That's how I won her business. And it wasn't that, I mean, obviously I have nowhere near of experience that the other lady had. I have nowhere near the confidence level that the other agent had had for 30 plus years in the business. But I did have the level of, I have time. I want to know what's important to you. I want to know why it's important to you. Let's make it happen together.
If you could leave us with one thing at the end of this conversation, what would it be?
Just keep working hard. If you work hard, the business comes. You can't not work hard and it not show up.
I love that. I love that. What areas do you serve?
Well, I'm a Tennessee and Mississippi agent, but like I said, I'll drive 6 hours to sell a house, man. Sometimes when I travel, I do multiple houses in one day. I've got the pre-approval, we're ready to go, and then usually by the time I leave, I've got the person under contract.
Okay.
So I mean, I think just never saying no to opportunities. If you're looking for business, just never say no and see what doors do open because you're not saying no, you're saying yes, and you're doing everything that you can to be busy. And then if you just say yes all the time and you consistently show up, tell me that you're not busy in a couple months.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Will you put your information in the chat box for everybody?
Yeah, yeah.
I would love for us to be able to save you in our phone under Tennessee/Mississippi so that, somebody comes into our world because we'll be doing open houses and building our business. And we'll also be closing 10 every quarter and it's going to feel so good. And And then, we're going to really love let me tell you, when you make money, you love your job a whole lot more. And so
Oh, yes. Well, and and when you love, I think when you have a passion for what you do, people can't not buy into that passion because it's catching, it's contagious. It's
I love that.
contagious.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, friends,
Thank
this
you.
was Heather in Tennessee and Mississippi. I think you're getting maybe your Arkansas license as well.
I am, yes. I'll be the
Uh,
trifecta before too long.
she is on the border, guys, so that it makes sense for everybody. But I love that. We're really really happy to get to know you. We're so happy for your success. Love the
Thank
passion that
you.
you bring. We appreciate you. We hope to see you at future place events. We'll put you in our
Absolutely.
phone. And guys, for those of you coming to Valencia's converted class, either in San Antonio tomorrow or April 10th in Austin, can't wait to see you guys. Have a good rest of your week, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Nice to meet you guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.